Welcome everybody to the MiniMapCast. This is minimap.com.au's weekly games podcast, your favorite weekly games podcast. My name is Kerry Palmer, and joining me as always is Jeremy Bratatid.
That's the one. You got it. Hey, Kerry.
Both names this time. Decided that on the fly.
Hey, Kerry. That was
Jeremy.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was. It was. I have an icebreaker for this episode.
Go for it.
I got it locked in the ready to go. I've had this loaded into my barrel for the last hour, and it's a bit of a visual thing. So I'm going to explain it visually as well. But okay. Jeremy,
Kerry,
would you say that I could pull off a decent Northern Lion like cosplay if I wanted to?
I was wondering.
Yeah,
I didn't comment on it.
So I got to take off my headphones. I'm not going to be able to hear you, but I did finally do it. And I have shaved all of my hair off of my head.
That's amazing.
It's a lot.
That's incredible.
And so we did it with the buzzer yesterday. Sam and I shaved both of our heads. And then I also then got my beard trimmer and took it down to like next to nothing.
That's so it's amazing.
It's very intense. It's very cold.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I took it down so low, I cannot tell you how Velcro-y I am.
Yeah, right.
Like Sam was like, "Oh, tell me what you thought it was like when you like lay down on the pillow last night when you went to bed." And I was like, "Sticky." I stick to everything. Like when I put a beanie on, I have to put it on like this one. When I took that off just then, it peeled off my head.
Yeah.
It was stuck like all the way across my dome.
But very soon it'll get to that soft short.
Oh yeah, like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
it'll be a good time.
Yeah. Amazing. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Are you gonna shave the beard and mustache as well, and then just be like...
I will. Yeah, I thought I would last night, but I got this far, and it had taken forever to get this far. And I was like, that's enough for tonight. And I kind of didn't mind it. It looked all right with with the mustache and the beard.
It looks fun. What can I make a request?
Oh, please.
Get rid of all the sides.
Yeah.
And then
you want a good goatee?
I want a Walter White.
Oh, you do. Well, he's connected.
I know. He's got a solid goatee. He's got a really solid hole around the mouth thing.
Yeah, like I could grow a whole beard if I wanted to, but I choose not to.
I mean, he does.
Yeah,
he does in that show.
It does look good.
Can I make one further request?
Please.
After you've done the whole face as well, you then get rid of the eyebrows.
I did. I asked Sam if I was going to do that. I thought about it.
Do it.
I don't think I will.
I don't think you should.
But I did think about it for more than a second.
And
not
then
much more than a second, but a little bit more.
And then blue on the face. Black.
Oh, like a shiny blue, like a plasticky blue.
Black turtleneck.
Mm-hmm.
Silent drums.
Drums and paint. That really is their whole shtick, isn't it? The Blue Man Group.
You know, there's more than one.
More than one man or more than one group?
Group.
I didn't know that. Are they like a franchise?
Yes, they're a franchise.
That's fucking hilarious. I guess it makes sense.
Of course it does.
Not like,
of course it makes sense. Why would there be only four Blue Men?
Matthew, James, and Tobias.
No, but there are Blue Men groups all over the world. You have to do years of training, apparently. I looked it up. I looked up the other day while I was at work. How do I become a Blue Man?
Why?
I was curious. I was like, I wondered if you can just do that. Turns out you can. Anyway.
You could take a few notes, a few leaves out of Tobias Funke's notebook.
Can you be Eggman for a little bit?
Like Robotnik?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Just get the shave off your chin hair.
It's too many props. It's too many props. Like I can't get the mustache long enough.
No, but if you shave off your hair and just like just quickly just like glue it here. Yeah.
Hey, that's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
This goes further out to the side than I realized.
Yeah.
Then I need goggles. Then I need like Jim Carrey's goggles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do it.
But yeah, it is. We did the final shave and I looked in the mirror and I immediately did see a bit of NL in the way that, like, how do you balance this in like a thumbnail? Like there's so much skin just on show now. It's outrageous.
That's so fun.
But yeah, that's a little thing I've been teasing on the show for some reason for the last few weeks, and now it's done.
I'm glad I got to see it.
3.5 years of growth. And yeah, I was trying to do my best to make that, to have the beanie on and not move it. And like I said, Sam, don't come in because you'll give it away.
There was I saw you wear the beanie and I was like I forgot about the hair shaving, but I was like, I wonder why he's wearing a beard, wearing a beanie rather. And I was like, must just be cold. And I was like, something was off because I was like, it was like hugging your head just a little bit much, and I just couldn't place it.
Yeah,
the distance between the end of the fabric and the beginning of your head was much closer than it would have been if you had hair.
Yeah, it would have been. That's how that works.
Yeah.
What we'll do in the post show is I'll turn to the side and you can tell me if I have a dent in my skull from where my headset has been resting for the last half of my life. But that comes after the first half of the show of the MiniMapCast, which is what you're listening to right now, where we're going to talk about games and not just hair. If you weren't aware, this is minimap.com.au's weekly games podcast. This week, we are here to talk all things predictions, I guess, for the next couple of weeks heading into E3, which is dead, Summer Game Fest, the reveal season that we're heading into, including some predictions for the PlayStation Showcase that's happening in a bit more than 48 hours from when we're recording this. So you can hear this before it goes live. It won't be entirely out of date, but there's not much time before it will be out of date. But either way, we're going to have fun with it.
We better get the show going, otherwise we're gonna catch up with the showcase.
I know, they're gonna arrive here on time, otherwise we're too late. The MiniMapCast, if you weren't aware, goes live on all podcast platforms every Wednesday with 24 hours of early access given to all of our wonderful patrons. More on that in just a second. If you like what you're hearing, make sure to tell your friends, give the show a positive rating wherever you listen to us or watch us. It helps out a lot for the show, for the site, and it only takes a couple of seconds as well. If you want to get notified every time a new episode is released, you can follow us on social media. We are at MiniMapAU on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and also Twitch, where we are live every Monday night, 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for the live recording of the MiniMapCast. We hang out in chat beforehand and during and after. Alex, friend of the show, was unboxing their PC and letting us know how that was going in chat. That was good. I look forward to hearing more about that later tonight. Yeah, it's a good time. If you've got the time to be there on a Monday night, we'd love to have you. We wanted to say thank you to Shook for letting us use the Moog Model D Improv as the music for the MiniMapCast. You can listen to more of Shook's music at shook.bandcamp.com. And finally, speaking of patrons, MiniMap is completely independent. It's a hard word to say if I don't think about it properly. I just put too many N's on it. Independent.
Independent.
And funded almost entirely out of our own pockets to help keep the mics and lights on. You can support us by becoming one of our patrons. For only $5 a month, you get 24 hours of early access for all episodes of the MiniMapCast and some extra bonuses that we rolled out. First one went out today, our E3 2009 Sony press conference watch along that we did a couple of weeks ago. So we recorded that. That's gone live today. So you can go there on Patreon, put the $5 down, and then you get access to that, all future episodes of that we're releasing in the future and more. So yeah, if you wanted to do that, you could head on over to patreon.com/minimapau. And remember, it's cheaper than a latte with oat milk. So we said last week when we were trying to figure out what topics we were going to like set aside, because we try and get at least a few of these like put in correctly during. Rather, we try and have a few lined up ahead of time, a few topics of the show ahead of time, so that we don't run out. We don't run into don't know what's next week. We'll find out then. And so last week we had to set a few aside, and it was like, I guess it's time to do predictions. And I was like, I bet Sony, as soon as we lock this in and like say something about it on the show, I bet Sony will announce something. And sure as fuck they did. The little bastards.
At the very least, they didn't, because I was expecting us to record last Monday.
Yeah.
Episode goes up Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Sony announces a showcase for Friday.
Yeah,
this is the most amount.
They gave us a full week.
This is the most amount of time they've had an announce. They've given us. Maybe I'm just more used to Nintendo's. Like, hey, guess what, fucker? 12 hours from now, we'll hit play on a YouTube video.
Yeah.
But like, like they gave us a little bit of time. So like they said, hey, next week. So at least we'll be able to do an episode, and predict what's going to happen.
I agree. I am thankful for that because you're right. It normally in recent years it has been more like a 48, 72 hour turnaround or less.
Yeah.
With everyone doing their own conferences and their own videos released, like stuff like that. It makes sense. But
it seems like it's for a while now there's been a game of chicken between all of the big companies just to be like,
yeah,
like they're kind of like looking at each other going like, when are you going to do a conference? Okay, it looks like there's sort of a little bit of time. Let's drop one in 12 hours so no one can steal the time from us. And
well, yeah, kind of. I feel like Nintendo kind of mic dropped their intention for that by just releasing maybe the best game of the last since Breath of the Wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like it was like we will let Link speak for us, even though he's mute. He speaks volumes.
Silently one of the loudest games to have entered the industry.
Yeah, just like we're just gonna put this here.
Yeah.
But yeah, Xbox has been known they're coming for a while, and then yeah, PlayStation just out of nowhere. It was funny because like we got 1 year. No, that's not true. We've had 3 of these PlayStation showcases, which they've revealed, which they've done before.
Yep.
2 of them were in 2020 in the lead up to the PS5 coming out. And so not only was it like, here are the next gen games that you can look forward to, and here are some of the final PS4 games that you can look forward to, but here's the console itself even as well. So it was that those conferences had a lot of lifting to do. And, you know, it was like at the end of one was when they showed the console and the controller for the very first time. And at the end of the other was when they showed, was when the pre-orders went live an hour later. Like,
I think we saw the controllers separately.
Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure.
I remember talking that had its own news cycle.
So maybe it was just that the console was shown along with all the accessories as well as part of that buzz
Yeah.
with the headset and the camera and the charging dock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they'd been there was its own trailer about like the triggers because they were talking about the haptics and yeah. And then
useless information for me to retain, and yet here we are.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what we're here for, I guess.
I guess
we are here for our useless information.
Yeah.
12 months later, they did one in 2021.
Yep.
It was maybe even September 21. I can't quite remember.
I don't remember.
But, you know, mid-ish 2021. And then we didn't get anything last year in the way of a big state of play. We hardly got any new first-party PlayStation Studios game announcements last year. It was all third-party or stuff we'd already seen from way back. Like Horizon Forbidden West was first revealed at one of those showcases. Even God of War Ragnarok was at the end of one of them. And so now it's like they've been holding their cards. It was the kind of thing as well. Like we got Ragnarok last year and it was like, well, fucking shit. Now what? Now what, PlayStation? What are you going to do? We don't know. And, you know, things like how The Last of Us Part 1 wasn't even announced at a State of Play or showcase. It was announced at Keighley's thing because they didn't have anything else really to bundle it all in together. So we're finally coming back to one. It's going to be more than an hour of content, which is, well, of trailers and whatever, which is a lot.
And like it's also, I guess, worth putting out like a small bit of context. I vaguely remember this, and I looked it up just to confirm. PlayStation were planning on having a showcase towards the end of last year, but they didn't due to the Microsoft Activision investigation. Like
subpoenaed.
Yeah, like it was a whole thing. This mostly comes from entertainment media and data analyst Millie A. who tweeted back in October, the ongoing CMA investigation for Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard has indeed delayed any showcase plans for Sony. Exclusive titles and first-party IP were locked in. Sony believes the showcase will add weight to Microsoft arguments. Silent Hill and Kojima, who were planned to part of the reveal of the show. The initial announcement of the showcase was scheduled for the 11th of October, with the showcase taking place the 20th of October. Sony is holding firm now. So what do you mean the moment that the UK government is like, hey, we don't want to allow this Activision Blizzard deal to go through, suddenly PlayStation like, hey, let's fucking drop a showcase, baby.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think either way at this point, they kind of held their cards long enough that they have to do something.
Totally. But it allowed them to, like, they could slam that, like, make video public button. Or schedule video.
Totally. And, like, deciding to hold it, like, if that is indeed what happened, like, it does mean we are coming. There's a bit of a fervor heading into this because of all of that context. Like, we don't know what's next. We know Spider-Man is ostensibly coming this year.
Yes.
We've hardly seen it. We saw it one time when it was revealed at one of these things 2 years ago, at the last one.
And Insomniac have been repeatedly reconfirming, yep, still coming.
Yep, and like retweeting that confirmation like as the months go on. So like, good on them. Like, do you remember when that announcement happened and it was like 1 month after Ratchet came out?
Yeah.
Which was like 6 months after Miles Morales came out, and then they announced Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine in the same conference. Or like, Insomniac, are you okay?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. And you know, the idea that you know, PlayStation's like, should we just get into it, I guess?
Yeah, let's get into it. So we're going to do a bit specifically on PlayStation, as that's kind of coming up and we know it's coming and it's imminent. And next week we'll be doing a bit of a breakdown on what happened. But yeah, we'll go over that today. Let me find. Oh, hang on. Let me find my notepad document here. So we've got as always, we've got a few like sub prompts for this, and then once we get past the PlayStation showcase, we'll talk about other predictions for the bigger shows coming in the next few weeks. So should we start with? Let's start with what do we think is going to be there. Let's start with the things that we think are obvious. They're locks.
Yeah.
Or they're at least likely.
So I didn't bother. Start with Spider-Man. I didn't even bother writing it because I knew it was so obvious. But do you want to talk to it?
Totally.
Or?
Yeah, I'm not even. We don't even have to get into it. Spider-Man 2 will be there.
Yeah.
We need to start seeing. We will start seeing more of it once they sort of open the floodgates. It'll be YouTube ads. It'll be like the banner page on IGN. You know, it'll be on buses. It'll be in maybe even theater experiences as like trailers there. It's going to be fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's going to sell bajillion units, and it's going to be amazing.
It'll go on the side of the box, on the side of the console, right? You know.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to like, we're far enough into the PS5 now, and the supply's there. Like, it's going to sell PS5s. It's probably going to be PS5 exclusive. I sure hope it is.
Yeah. It will.
And that's going to be the thing where it's like, it's not going to sell as many as day one Spider-Man did when it was on the older PS4 system at the time, but it will sell millions of PS5s on its own. And
it like, that's a game with long legs. Like it'll like, that'll be one that they can always just like, I know.
Daddy long legs.
It'll stick around for like quite a while.
Yeah. So like that will be there. I reckon, so I did hear a bit of scuttlebutt about this on Kind of Funny. They were talking about this earlier in the week. And something that they said that I think bears mentioning, we'll probably see Final Fantasy 16. We'll probably see a demo release that day, I reckon.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Because Square have done that for so many Final Fantasy games and just general games. Square, they're big on the pre-release demos.
They didn't do that for 7, did they?
Remake?
Yeah.
They sure did, because remember, it was the same demo that we played at PAX that I hated, and then I played it in English as the demo, and I wanted to, like, as soon as it was finished, I wanted to play it again.
Yeah, right. I must have forgotten. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yep.
Yep. I've got here Ghost of Tsushima 2.
Yeah, I've got that down here too.
I think it's been long enough.
3 full years since that game came out almost.
Yeah, and like I don't think we'll see it for this year, but I think we'll see it for next year.
Yep.
and like they have released the PlayStation 5 version of their game, so then I had a dev for the PS5. So I reckon we'll see that.
Yeah.
I reckon we'll see Last of Us 2 PlayStation 5 version.
I was just thinking that.
It's a toss-up between that and the multiplayer. I don't know which one we see first. I think we see this first and then...
See, I've got a twist on this. Yeah. Sorry, finish yours.
Well,
you think we see that first?
That's kind of it. It's a 50-50 like coin flip for me, which one we see first, but yeah.
You see, for me, it's either 0% or 100%. Either we're getting The Last of Us Factions is coming, and here's The Last of Us 2 for PS5, or we don't see either of them.
I think we get them staggered. I think we get them staggered because they're going to be different SKUs. And
they are going to be different SKUs, definitely. I just think they're going to be bundled together because I think people are going to see The Last of Us and it's like, oh, it's the multiplayer. Oh, and then they're like, oh, wait, hang on, I didn't play Last of Us 2, or I haven't played that in years. Here's the PS5 version. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Naughty Dog release one thing at a time. I think
that's fair. And maybe it's in my world, if that happens, it's Factions is coming soon, February next year or something. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 right now on PS5.
Maybe.
But the problem with that is that they've just released Part 1. Well, I guess it was nearly 9 months ago on PS5, but it's going so badly on PC.
Yeah, but it's not them who's made it.
It is partly them. They're taking a lot of ownership of it.
Right, okay. I thought it was mostly Iron Galaxy, but maybe that was just the online people hating Iron Galaxy because of a game they released poorly 10 years ago.
I don't know. So yeah, it's kind of the only way I can make sense of them not having The Last of Us 2 as part of PlayStation Plus catalogs, to be like, they must be holding it for something.
All right,
something with a bit of juice. They must be keeping it for something.
I'll meet you in the middle. I reckon what they do is they do... it might be too early, but I reckon maybe what they do is they do Last of Us Part 2 out now. Well, no, not now, but like release date soon.
Or like next week.
Yeah, no, like between 6 months from now. Last of Us Season 2 now in production. And they
I don't think they could say that during the writer's strike. I think production's on hold.
Yeah.
Maybe they might have wanted to, but they can't.
I suppose it depends on if
like Craig Mason's on the line. He's on the picket line.
Oh, good on him. Okay, because like part of me was like, are they union or not? But I'm glad they are.
Yeah.
Because Druckmann is new to the world of TV. I don't know if he's part of the union or not. So like,
I think he's just going home to go be co-president of one of the biggest game studios in the world.
Yeah, look, if Mason's on the line, then Druckmann isn't scabbing while Mason's out picketing, right? So like, could you imagine?
Whoa, that would be so bad.
That would have been dreadful. No,
everyone leaves the project. They have to recast Ellie.
We see Konami.
Yes, that has been heavily rumored.
We'll see some Silent Hill stuff, and then we maybe actually see the announcement of their, because like one of the reasons that their initial showcase was stopped because they were going to announce their exclusivity deal. Maybe we get Konami there. We see some Silent Hill, and we see the Snake Eater remake coming exclusively to PS5, which has been rumored for such a long time, and they have been hiring developers, which is like, oh my god, I can't believe they're hiring developers.
Who's doing it?
Konami.
You think Konami's making it? It's not Bluepoint?
No, I believe it's Konami. I don't think it's Bluepoint.
Okay.
Like, if it is, great, I trust them, but I do think Konami are actually in the business of making video games again.
Maybe. They might be thinking about it.
That's basically it. Like, I've got a middle ground one, which is like Infamous. Like, do we get it or not? Like, I don't know. Maybe. Do we get another?
I don't think Sucker Punch want to let Infamous go yet. I don't think.
I mean, it might not be up to them. It might be like.
No, it might not be, but I think they have a good enough standing. Like, they they've only had one miss really recently, which was just
Ghost of Tsushima.
Second Son.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I think they might have enough sway to be like, hey, look, we think we could do something else with this. Let us finish Ghost 2 and then we'll revisit it.
Maybe, but I also think that like that might be, maybe Infamous is a good game to hand off to Bend to say, hey, give it another shot.
Yeah. That's the thing. I've got here, who do we think it's going to be there? And for me, it's Blue Point. I think it's time. 2.5 years since Demon's Souls, it's time.
Yeah.
But maybe not, but it could be. But also, yeah, I expect to see something from Sucker Punch, and I expect to see something from Bend. It's been way longer since Days Gone, like 4 years. So whatever Ben's been doing.
Well, I mean, they were working on the Last of Us remake, right? Like,
and they were taken off it.
Yeah. So like, it might be too early for them. Maybe Ben gets given a reboot of Twisted Metal because there's that TV show with Anthony Mackie coming out, and it's weird for them to do it. It's weird for them to do a Twisted Metal TV show at all.
Yes, that's right.
But like,
it is weird that they did not let that die.
Yeah.
I have a bit of a wrench to throw in that suggestion, though. This is due to someone else's. Blessing was talking about this on Kind of Funny. So again, sort of pulling from them. But January 2022, the headline from VGC that I'm reading from Andy Robinson says, Sony's Fire Sprite takes over Twisted Metal as MotorStorm director is hired. The first party studio has poached Lucid's director. I know, it's a good call, right?
Yeah.
The first party studio has poached Lucid's director and its reboot project, VGC understands. This was, so when this all came out,
that's a good
it kind of came out that the team that made Destruction All-Stars was supposed to be working on another Twisted Metal.
Right.
And then, Fire Sprite took it.
Yeah, right.
So this was a year and a half ago. Maybe it's ready for showing, but I don't think it's Bend.
Yeah. Good. Look, good remembering. MotorStorm director on a Twisted Metal. Yeah. All right. Cool. Dope. I mean, like that's like, I loved MotorStorm a lot. That would be good. Give me another Wipeout, cowards. But like, also like, yeah, I'm here for that. For other studios that I am expecting to see, and I don't really know what. Yeah, like I've got Blue Point as well. I've got Fumeto Ueda.
Oh, that would be so exciting.
I hope it's time. I hope he's had his rest. I hope he's had a big long sleep after the last.
It's been 6-7 years since Last Guardian.
You know, but that took him a lot, and it took a lot out of him. So like, you know, like,
I mean, he left his own company like twice to make that game happen.
He left his own company, started a new one, and then and that company's first gig was to finish the game that he left. Right? Like, like he's been through hell and back, and I would love to see more from that mind.
Yeah, me too.
And
something modern.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets to make a game for the console that is around at the time. So yeah, I hope it's time, and if not this year, then the next. And
what if we get the equivalent of the Last Guardian reveal trailer this week, and then we don't see it for years? Where do
I put a pre-order down?
You imagine if we start getting like cannot run on the PS5 games where we've barely gotten any exclusives.
Yeah. And finally, I'm expecting to see Nomura, probably Kingdom Hearts 4.
You think we see Kingdom Hearts 4 from him before Final Fantasy 7 too?
Yep.
Right, there we go.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
Well, he's not directing Final Fantasy 7 Remake 2. Someone else.
Probably just EP, right?
Well, he's directing the Final Fantasy 7 IP.
3. Oh, the IP. I thought he was directing the third part as well.
I don't know if I've gotten that far. But he is directing Kingdom Hearts 4. Yes. But is running the Final Fantasy 7 whole property. So
like showrunner.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, I'm expecting to see something Kingdom Hearts 4. I know that like they will do everything in their power to make sure that that game is announced and then released in a lot shorter time frame than it was in the past. And you know, the swap to Unreal now, I'm sure they'll get there. But But yeah, I'm expecting to see that as not a wild card.
Jeremy.
Kerry. Keep talking. I'm just going to get my water bottle, but I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna. So a couple of these other prompts we've got dream prediction and who do we want to see. Let's do who do we want to see. Like, what do we want? And this might be rehashing a bit of what we just went over. But what are the things that we want to see? I could start if you like.
Yeah. You start.
I don't have too much here. Like, we went over it, but I am very curious to see what Ben has been working on. Like, for as like mixed as it was received, Days Gone was a swing, you know, and I really want to see what that team does next. Whether it's an old IP that they're reinvigorating, whether it's a reboot or a remake, whether it's another new IP, I'm fascinated to see what they do there.
Yeah.
We are going to see Spider-Man gameplay, but also I really want to see it. I am now ready. Where when they revealed it 2 years ago, and I said, "Oh no, I don't want to see this yet." I am now ready.
I didn't even need gameplay, really.
Neither do I.
Like,
but I mean,
just because like we know what it's going to be. It's more just like I just want to see what it looks like. That's it. Like just visually.
What I'm excited for is the potential for them to be introducing things that I don't even know that I want for that game.
Co-op.
I'm ready to see the evolution of what?
Co-op.
Yeah, but it's like one hand on the controller and the other hand on the other side of the controller from the other person. It's like one controller, two people.
I thought you meant one hand on the side of the controller and the other hand on the other side of the controller. I'm like,
holding a controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that. And then also I want to see factions. This has been a big meaty thing they've been working on for 3 years in between other re-releases.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I'm keen for it. I want to see what a big expanded version of this looks like. I want to see, like, is it an extraction shooter now? You know what I mean? With like an arcadey TDM or like survival mode thrown in for like practice. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
What have they been doing? I want it.
And like everything, all the leaks that we understand that have come out around what that thing is, it's leaning towards Battle Royale or at least loot based.
Or like live service kind of resource scrounging. Yeah.
I'm interested to see if they've got the savvy the savvy to support it for a long period of time. Like, you know, because like we know what that looks like, right? It's battle passes and seasons because that's what everyone does. And
Naughty Dog are not strangers to multiplayer suites. They've been creating multiplayer suites. They've done 4 since Uncharted 2.
Yeah, but like when those released, like the world was a different place. Online live service games were very different. All of those.
Yeah, I suppose even Uncharted 4 7 years ago was like, that was even just barely pre-Overwatch and like before the loot box fiasco.
It was before Fortnite, right?
It was before PUBG.
Yeah. It was before the Battle Royale explosion.
And battle passes.
Exactly.
It's a good point.
So like, you know, like, and we know that they'll look at what everyone else has done and went like, we'll do something like that because it's worked for a lot of other people. But like, you do wonder, like, how do they make it their own? And they might just make it pretty standard and it'll do fine. It's not the worst thing in the world, but like, you hope that it's like they've got room to experiment, right? Like they're a proven entity in one area. Like if they really tried for something different in this other, that could be really interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is fascinating. Like this is a weird swing for them to make.
Yeah.
Like on the one hand, it makes sense. Like I just said, they have been doing multiplayer, but then to shelve what was meant to be included as a game mode for one game 3 years ago and flesh it out into its full experience. Like they probably want to charge full price for this thing.
Well, like my understanding is that is it not a free to play thing?
I don't know.
I can see them, you know, introducing it to the base PlayStation Plus tier as an inclusion.
Yeah, I could see that being a part of PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's strange. It's different.
Very,
And
very, very weird.
Naughty Dog like stretching their legs. Not that you could tell from looking at them for the last 10 years, but like before that, it was like Crash to Jack to Uncharted, including multiplayer when they wanted to. Then they went to The Last of Us. Like they like doing different things. It's just they hit so much success they couldn't get away from it for a while. And I don't think they wanted to, but also they couldn't if they wanted to. I want to see what they do with this space, with this rope they've been given, you know?
This is what I want, and it's kind of it's kind of a it's a little bit of a reach. Because it's what I really want.
It's what you want.
It's what I really want. I really want Ape Escape made by TMSOB.
Yeah.
Or like I'll take a what are the little robots called? I've forgotten the name of them.
Astrobot?
The Astrobot. I'll take an Astrobot rescue mission for the PlayStation VR 2. A new one.
I would be very excited to see that.
And that would make me go, all right, let's put some money aside. Let's
That might be enough for me to do that too.
Let's work out a way.
Maybe we could go in like together and like split it.
Yeah.
Like I want to see what that's like. I want to see what the first one's like, but if they're making a new one after the success of Astro's Playroom on PS5, I'm so down. Like what a treat.
Yeah.
Hands down one of the best PS5 games.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to see what they're doing
Ape
next.
Escape.
That'd be a perfect fit.
They would be a fit for that oddball franchise. I just don't know that franchise is a good fit for anything these days.
It could be. And like I also think that what we will see is Death Stranding 2. It's been announced. Kojima will probably be there and he'll show off that game, and then he'll walk over to the other room and show off his new Xbox game. And
when was that announced? Was that at the Keeley thing?
I think so. Yeah. He's got three rooms in a row, like a sitcom set that he walks through. He walks through the first one as the PlayStation, says here's Death Stranding 2, walks to the next one, shows up and says hello to Jeff Keighley, and then in the third room he goes into the Xbox room and shows off his new Xbox game.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Yeah. So this was at the Game Awards in December. So yeah. We could see it. Did they give a window for this?
No, but I reckon it's easy to show.
That also came out in 2019. That's coming up to 4 years since release.
So.
Yeah, but they're working on multiple stuff. That's hard. That's a hard one to gauge. I think they also like showing it so much.
Yeah, like he'll get something together.
Yeah, he'll be there. And if he's not there, then he'll be at Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, he'll be at Keeley's. All right. Anything else, or should we just go to the wild card and move on to the next? Because we're going a bit longer.
We are. What's your wild card, Jeremy?
Sunset Overdrive 2.
Well, Insomniac own the IP, don't they?
They do.
Which means PlayStation owns the IP.
Which means PlayStation owns the IP. Yep. And you know what? Insomniac tweeted about it yesterday.
No, I don't see it.
It's a wild card. And it's not even one that I particularly want, but it's a wild card.
That is wild. They're doing too much already. Like, I want to see a new Ratchet before I see a new Sunset Overdrive.
I don't know. They tweeted 16 hours ago about Sunset Overdrive.
I mean, good on them.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't hit for me. My wild card, GTA 6 is revealed, which I right? Which in parentheses I said, no fucking way that's happening.
The head of Take-Two was in the news earlier today.
Oh no. Medieval Times, was it?
No, he was talking about something.
Didn't they do an investor call say like, oh, we're looking forward to bringing in the $8 billion with our properties over the next 12 months or something like that. And it's like, oh wow, I wonder what you think you're releasing soon.
He said he also said that the Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick says that AI will never truly replace human creativity, is what he says. So at the very least,
that is valuable to hear from someone's mouth who is in the business.
Yeah.
after what was it? It was BuzzFeed this week who said they're moving to AI generated articles.
Yeah, this is after they gutted their entire news corporation and let everyone go.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then a couple of that we did have a dream prediction. I'll just breeze over mine. If I really thought we were going to see something fantastic that I really don't think is going to be there, that I really want to see, it's a teaser trailer for Naughty Dog or Bungie's new IP.
Right.
That's my that would be the dream for me. Something new from developers who I care a lot about.
Mine was a PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale 2.
I'm sorry, why wasn't that in your wildcard slot?
No, because this is my dream, because that's never happening. Sunset Overdrive 2 could possibly happen.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Jeremy, we're at 40 minutes. Should we just take a break?
Maybe. Yeah, let's just do that.
All right, we'll take a break, and then we'll be back with the rest of our predictions, as well as what we've been playing, if we've got time, if we don't take too long. So stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a quick moment. Welcome back to the MiniMapCast. It's been a time since we were last doing this. Well, about 20 minutes, really. In that time, we found out that my headset does indeed fit into a groove in my skull, which is funny. That's about it. We're going to do some more predictions now. Basically, everything else that isn't Sony's conference.
Yeah.
Oh?
I was going to say, yes.
Yes, indeed. So we looked through the list of like confirmed big events coming up. I don't know, chance we might have missed one. Oh no, we're not doing Gearbox. But we picked.
It's just
Randy.
Randy, and it's Kevin Hart in a plastic box like Magneto's prison. And he's just there asking him more and more about the Borderlands movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, please let me go.
Please stop. Was that last year or the year before? That was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Well, it was, because it was...
Where's the fucking movie?
I was just about to say, where's that movie? We got a teaser poster for it like 2 years ago.
Okay. All right. So...
Whatever you've got, whatever you've got, you need to take this and go with it.
Oh yeah, no, I will. So I don't know if there's anything happening for Gearbox this year. I don't think there is.
No.
But what the conferences we are going to talk about and predict for, we're going to talk about Summer Game Fest kickoff, their big Keighley event, Xbox and Bethesda showcase, and Ubisoft. Those are the three we're going to talk about. I've been racking my brain to think about what Jeff's going to have. Borderlands movie trailer, that will be there.
Yeah.
Now that we've said where is it, that's where it is.
It'll be there.
It'll be there, ready for October or something.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, this movie's been in fucking development for a long time. Screenplay was written by Craig Mazin.
Can you believe they did that whole terrible Gearbox press conference from the set on like Randy's producer's phone?
I can.
Like his PA.
I can.
God,
I can.
Made me angry and continues to make me angry.
I can see that being there.
Slam dunk.
Yeah. Should we go through the Summer Game Fest thing? Like what?
Let's do Summer Game Fest. It's the one that's next.
Yeah.
Closest.
Like we don't have a whole lot of like, here's my predictions for the Summer Game Fest, because it's kind of a weird one that it's kind of just
really
like
weird.
it's an easy one for anyone who isn't a part of any of the big shows to come and show kind of like whatever, right? Like, and like we were spitballing a couple ideas, and I'm just gonna kind of go through them because I don't have any hard predictions for this show. But like I can see maybe Gearbox are doing another Duke Nukem or something. Maybe at some point I can like I've heard people talk about that on Twitter, and I don't know if it's just because sometimes people just talk about it, but I could see that being there.
I want that.
I could see Among Us getting a new update being shown there.
Classic. It's basically always there.
Yeah. Like I know this isn't what we were talking about before because you were trying to remember the name of another game, but I can actually imagine seeing Earth Defense Force being there. Arc 2, I could imagine showing up with starring Vin Diesel.
It just had a big delay, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, but I could see them like maybe talking to that a little bit.
Yeah. We have terrible work practices, and our boss is a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and Vince just keeps on talking, trying to bring Paul Walker, and we're like, it's not this. Yeah, I don't know, like a couple of random, like, the AA space, right? It's
reveals. Like world reveals of games you've never heard of and won't hear of again.
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect, like it's hard to get a game out there, and if you've made it onto the Keeley stage and you're a developer, like, good on you.
Hell of a place to get.
But there is so much stuff that happens there that just fades into the ether.
Yeah, and it's because like it's a really noisy show. There's just a lot happening every other minute.
It's dense
and
it's full of so many people, and you'll know there'll be a heavy hitter. There'll be an Elden Ring to top it off to like really drown you out.
And it's also littered with commercials, and like, they're all commercials because that's all it all is, because it's all marketing. But like, there are like advertisements there.
Yeah, like play the new season of Fall Guys for free, or like season 5 of, and it's not even like it's been out for a week, and it's like, hey, play us.
Yeah,
come check us out.
Yeah, and it's another like Borderlands, another Gearbox like crafting game, and like Zoa energy drink will be there. Like, it's all of those weird little things.
Yes, let us hopefully never repeat that awful rock from his phone.
The hierarchy of power in the DC universe, Kerry, is about to change.
He didn't even say it then. He just said so much other faff.
I can't believe that movie was so bad.
I can.
No, but like I can't believe that movie was so bad and performed so poorly that he lied about how much money it made, to the point that he's returning to the Fast and Furious franchise, considering how much he hates The Rock. Considering how much he hates Vin Diesel.
Whoa.
I think I saw it on. I don't keep up with that space a lot, but I thought he was in like the new one as a post-credits thing. But
really?
I could be wrong.
I would be surprised with how publicly he did not agree to do any of that. So what else have we got here? I honestly was struggling.
Sorry, just to confirm, he is coming back as Hobbs. In Fast X, despite vowing to never come back.
That's so weird. What the fuck, man? All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Something I wrote is, why did I write this? I wrote E3 is here, but also there's a bunch of competition.
What?
What does that mean? I think I meant.
What does that mean?
Okay. I think I've distilled it. Okay. I think it means that E3 isn't happening. Now E3 is happening at Summer Game Fest. This is the E3 now. But also, because it's just one show, even if some of the big players get a few of their things in there, like Call of Duty's there maybe, or EA something, like even if those things are there, there's so much competition because it's still only one show, and there still are all of those things that, like, while it's still a good place to go in lieu of E3, it is a very noisy place, as we already said, to go.
Yeah.
That is not a prediction, Kerry.
No.
Why did I write that?
I don't know. It's a good point, though.
Yeah, it's all right. Something I wrote was Kojima's Xbox thing, maybe. With Death Stranding 2, I do think we'll see it, especially with our conversation we had before, but I think they've been working on it concurrently. Like, I don't think they're a huge team, but I do think they have been working concurrently on these things.
Yeah, but like, I don't think we see that at Summer Game Fest. I think we see that at Xbox's thing.
Yeah, of course we would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really struggling with Summer Game Fest predictions, man.
We'll just move on, because it's a weird one. We can just move on to Xbox.
I have one that might actually work.
Oh, let's do that.
Do you have one for Summer Game Fest?
Oh, like the ones I already spoke about.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess my last my last prediction after my non-predictions.
Mm-hmm.
It's either an Armored Core gameplay trailer, or if they're feeling really crazy, really just out there, Elden Ring DLC trailer.
See, I also think that'll be at Xbox because Elden Ring and Xbox and Bandai Namco seem to have a good thing going on.
But they were always all the trailers for that. That was Summer Game Fest, and it was Gamescom, and it was Game Awards.
Elden Ring was announced as a part of the Xbox showcase at E3 2019.
But then the full gameplay reveal trailer was Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, but I think, like, to me, there was a level of Xbox gets first dibs, and I think it just didn't quite line up in the way that I think they meant they were hoping to do at some point. But like in my mind, they are closer linked than I think. I think they would get a greater audience at Xbox, considering how close they are, than they would at Summer Game Fest.
I think they'd put their money still down at Summer Game Fest. I disagree with you on this one.
Maybe they double dip. Maybe the Elden Ring stuff is at Summer Game Fest, maybe Armored Core is at Summer Game Fest and Elden Ring is at Xbox.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did a little bit of double dipping there.
The thing that really gets me with this one is it's been 15 months since Elden Ring came out. Armored Core is coming out in 3.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Incredible.
And we only heard about the Elden Ring DLC for the first time this year, just a few months ago. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see it until maybe next year. But this studio is just pumping out work right now. And so I don't know what to believe from them anymore, especially because by the time they're ever announcing anything, it's around the corner. Yeah. Oh, also, not only was Elden Ring
aside from Elden
gameplay
Ring
and release date reveal at a Keighley thing, the Armored Core reveal was at Keighley at Game Awards this year too.
But they were there, I think was important, is that they were like physically there because they were accepting the Game of the Year award. I think if maybe they weren't there, then it might have been a different thing.
I guess.
Maybe. It's hard to know, right? Like, I think...
That kid was also there.
Look at the kid. I still see that kid pop up. He's a strange kid. He's a really fucking weird kid.
Yeah.
He got a photo with Kanye. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's hard, right? Like, because they're kind of like Take-Two in that regard, where they can kind of pick and choose where they're going to put their spot. And wherever it's going to be, it's going to do gangbusters. We didn't talk about it early in the first half of the show with PlayStation, but like, look, the amount of shit that comes out of that man's mouth, but David Jaffe's out there talking about a fucking Bloodborne remake. Or remaster or something Bloodborne. And like, I don't think he knows anything because I think he knows literally nothing. But like, he's not a small person in the industry saying that.
No, he has connections to PlayStation.
And like Lance McDonald has spoken about it recently. Not at all saying that like he thinks it's coming. Just like, again, reconfirming that, yeah, like at some point it was running natively on a PC during development, but also after. He has verified and seen it. But what was recently sort of discovered was a version of the game running on the PC with the DLC included, which was not something that we had seen before.
Right. So that means it was at least post-release.
Yeah, or like, and who knows in what way it was in terms of like it was the same, we don't know. Are From going to have 3 things across the showcases? I don't think so.
I mean, I'd be flabbergasted if we saw 2.
Yeah.
We'll see Armored Core.
What's more probable? The Echoes of the Erd Tree or whatever it's called, or
Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Shadow of the Erd Tree, or Bloodborne on PC. Like,
fuck.
I know, right? And like, I don't really have an answer to that.
No.
But they could also double dip the other way. They could go Bloodborne PC at the PlayStation Showcase, and then Armored
Core
Core
at Summer Game Fest.
We don't know.
Yeah, Elden Ring at Xbox.
Elden Ring and Xbox. They could
dominate the next 3 weeks.
They can like cha-cha with Kojima walking through all the different rooms, right? Like
yeah, they can high five on the way past.
Yeah. It's a
Jeez.
Yeah, right. And like, I don't think we'll get all 3. I think we'll barely get 2, but like who knows?
Fucking that blew my mind a little bit, man.
Yeah.
All right, so that was a really weird one for me. Let's move on to Xbox and Bethesda.
Sure.
Forza will be there, obviously. Forza Motorsport.
Yeah.
We'll get a release date because apparently it doesn't have one yet.
No, we don't. Yeah, it doesn't have a release date.
So that'll be imminent. Like that'll be June, July, or August. That will be very soon.
Yeah.
What have you got for Xbox?
For Xbox, I've got Hellblade 2.
Yep. Hellblade. I wrote Hellblade, and then as I wrote it, I was like, we've been saying it for years.
Yeah. Yep.
What if it's not there? What if fucking Xbox still doesn't have Hellblade 2 yet? So I wrote Hellblade. Sure.
No, because it's like the folks from Ninja Theory, Team Ninja, Ninja Theory.
Team Ninja is the
the
Neo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were on stage at GDC
for the UE5 showcase, right?
Yeah, showing off their like film someone with an iPhone and then it turns into a full mocap whole thing.
Yeah.
Really incredible stuff. Really exciting. I think we see it. And if we don't, what the hell? Because that game is older than the Xbox Series X at this point. Remember? Because like that's how long it's been. Top of your head looks so strange, my friend.
Sorry, I needed it. There you go. You want a better look?
That's what I've got. Like, do you want to go back and forth, or do you want to go through all three?
Yeah, we can go back and forth. Although that was we shared that one, but that's fine.
Yeah. We'll share a lot of these, I'm sure.
What is the Gears team working on?
Yeah, I've got this. So, Gears 6, or
because 5 was like critically well received, but didn't hit that many sales targets. Like it just kind of came and went.
Like I think like this is me extrapolating information, but my understanding is that the Gears games do well enough they can make more Gears games. They've never been gigantic. Like they haven't been a gigantic franchise since Gears 3.
Yeah.
And they're not going to reach that number, but that's because the time and place when those games were coming out, things were different. Like I can see them doing a Gears 6. I can see them doing a Tactics 2. I can also see them finally releasing that collection that is disappearing and reappearing depending on who on Twitter decides it exists or not.
Okay.
It's been rumored. It's not been confirmed in any meaningful way. But that would make sense. A remake of 2 and 3. It'll get
that'd be neat.
It'll get a lot of old grumpy Gears fans to come back.
Yeah.
And
I tried the Ultimate Edition of 1 a few months ago now, and it was interesting, but
and that
feels like 2006.
That's more of a port with a coat of paint. I think a good remake of 2 and 3 would do really well.
Yeah, I agree. Like add a bit of saturation, maybe, a bit of vibrance.
We can bring back Mad World.
Just
so excited to hear that song on stage again. I'm so excited.
Yep.
One of mine is which I'm sure is on your list as well, Obsidian in some capacity.
Yeah, I wrote where's my notepad? I wrote we finally see Avowed, parentheses, please.
Yeah. Well, either that or Outer Worlds 2. And I can see Outer Worlds 2 coming out before Avowed because it's an easier game to pull off in terms of it's a sequel.
Yeah, they got the framework for it already, and
hopefully
that's a good point.
Hopefully, this one's really good as opposed to.
We have to remember that this team has been working on Grounded for a long time.
Yeah.
Alongside this, we heard about Avowed. It was revealed a long time ago. Maybe we see Avowed, but maybe we get like a distant release window. Like maybe this is like it's been a while since you've heard from us. Here's what you can expect this game to look like. but it's still going to be a bit. Like the first time we saw Skyrim, that was another like 16 months till we had hands on. So maybe it's something like that. But yeah, I want all of their things, but they're a small team and they're under a lot of pressure. I'm happy for the success with Avowed, with Grounded. But yeah, I'm nervous about the Outer Worlds 2 because of how the first one was received, and I'm nervous about Avowed because we haven't seen it and it's been so long.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pans in the fire. It's a lot of irons in the fire. That's what they call that. It's the saying.
Yeah.
That's my whole list. We've done it.
All right. I've got like one or two more here. New Doom. Is it ready yet?
New Doom.
It's a little early, maybe, but
maybe.
I don't think they're doing a Quake again.
No, the free-to-play one didn't go well enough, I don't think. And Quake doesn't really exist to be a single-player campaign.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, they could. Like, they've done it in the past, but like...
Yeah. But Doom's interesting because they, like, theoretically, that game came out 3 years ago. But they were working on the DLC for a long time. Long time. That
DLC might as well be another Doom,
right?
Like, so, it is a whole campaign's worth of DLC across those two parts.
Yeah, and it took a while, and then like you said, it is full, it is big, it is meaty. So I would
very
not
meaty,
expect it.
very fleshy,
bloody. I would not expect a new Doom from them anytime soon, honestly.
But is it the logo and name reveal, right? Like, because they did that last time where they announced Doom Eternal, and then a year later, I think, is when we got the actual gameplay reveal. Because, you know, theoretically, it's like they've got a good idea of what this game is. I don't know.
Maybe if it's coming out in like April next year.
The other one I've got here is Machine Games.
Yeah. As soon as you said Doom, I was like, Machine Games?
Yeah. We're not getting Wolfenstein 3 yet. We're going to get Indiana Jones first. There's a movie coming out soon.
Apparently it stinks.
I know. I've seen both. I've seen people on both sides of the aisle of if it's better or worse than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
But the problem is it's only in the conversation of that one and not the others.
Look, Temple of Doom isn't very good. And in some ways, I think it's worse than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Not in every way, but in some ways. As long as it's fun and as long as Harrison looks like he's having a good time, I think that's actually enough for me.
Yeah.
I really want, like, don't get me wrong. I wanted a high art version of indie.
No, of course. Oh, you did, of course.
Yeah, I know. Like, look, they took it to fucking Cannes Film Festival. Like, that's a bonkers thing to do. Yeah. That's where everybody saw it. That's where all the reviews are coming from, because they showed it at Cannes. And Harrison was crying.
So strange.
Yeah, right? Harrison was crying at Cannes because he was so happy.
Okay, well, good on him.
And, like, he totally cares about this more than Star Wars.
He cares about all things more than Star Wars.
Yeah. And so, like, I'm like, maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something to sit on for a while. Anyway,
okay.
That movie's coming out. It's going to do very well at the box office. It's the last Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford. It's the last movie that John Williams is going to score.
That's right.
It's his
big deal.
Big deal.
And Spielberg's doing it, which is also cool.
No, he's not.
Wasn't he?
It's James Mangold.
Beg your pardon.
It's the last movie that Mangold is doing before he's doing a Star Wars movie, I believe.
Oh, great.
No, he's doing the one I'm excited for. Anyway, they've got a movie coming out. Maybe we start to see the Machine Games Indiana Jones.
Even a trailer.
Yeah, like just a bit of like what that game is going to be. It's going to be a weird one because like Machine Games are really good at FPSs, and like this is not going to be an FPS probably.
No, it probably shouldn't be. No.
And so like we don't really know what that is, which is fascinating.
I would be very happy to see Machine Games stretch their legs like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tomb raiding, Uncharted territory,
Crash Bandicoot.
Inspiration to pull from. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And but also like pulpy goodness.
Yes.
They know pulp. They know.
Yes.
They know old cereals, which is all Indiana Jones is. So like I'm looking forward to them getting like, like camp comic, action Indiana Jones. So yeah, is it too early to see
Indy
that?
gets his head cut off and it goes into the
body of a monkey.
Jewish mech suit.
That game is so fucking sick.
That's pretty silly.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think maybe we see it. Maybe we see it. And I guess like,
It's been a long time since Wolfenstein 2.
It has been. And like, they put out that one in between, which also wasn't very good, but like that was
alongside Arcane.
Speaking of Arcane,
do we see Redfall?
No. Oh, look, we like honestly we might see whatever.
Honestly.
We might see their DLC plans. Their roadmap. But we know it's not going to be a long roadmap, and we know that they're definitely already looking ahead to what the next thing is going to be. Who knows what that's going to be though?
Wolfenstein 2 came out October 2017. Bloody hell!
I remember because it was announced. It was. I remember
it was still at school. Jesus.
Yeah, I remember that game came out. Its pre-release was happening at the same time there was an election going on in America, where the fucking tagline was "Get the Nazis out of America" at the same time Trump was running.
Oh yeah, that's
remember how
I forgot about that.
Remember how fucking topical that game was at that point?
And then people ragged on it for being too political.
We need a third one of those. Imagine if they didn't have Indiana Jones and they were releasing Wolfenstein 3 as Trump is running again.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
I don't think I could, honestly.
They would put him in the game.
Trump?
Yeah, they would put him in the game like they put Reagan and they put like all those other real like.
Oh yeah. They'd have to jump past Youngblood, wouldn't they? Because that went into the future.
That one was in the 80s. No. Like the Wolfenstein 3, I believe, is going to be a direct sequel to 2, and Youngblood is just going to be its own thing. Okay. But like they were gonna they could put like a young shit-eating Donald Trump as like a can kicker like somewhere in there. It would have been great. I guess like the final thing I've got about Xbox is like we know like there's a Starfield Direct happening like the day after or the same day as the Xbox.
It's immediately, right. Instantly afterwards.
Immediately,
like
after.
The showcase ends and then Starfield begins.
Yeah. So we know we're going to see what they're doing, but like I'm assuming we'll get some Elder Scrolls Online thing, probably.
Yeah, no doubt.
Some Fallout 76. But do we get anything else from them? Do we get Fallout 3 remake?
Whoa.
Something, not, we're not getting Elder Scrolls 6. We're not getting that anytime soon.
No. And they've said as much.
Yeah.
But there was a leak that went around that an old friend of ours from work was circulating. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that. It's a bullshit leak. There's so many errors.
I thought it might have been. But on that list was like Fallout New Vegas remastered.
I know. I was taking shots of that leak on Twitter yesterday. They like on that leak that they have Forza Motorsport written down as a game made by the folks that made Forza Horizon and like it's so completely wrong. There are so many errors in that.
Okay, right. I thought it might be. I thought it was too easy.
I almost like called him out when I was like, I can't be bothered.
No, it's not worth it, and it's fine. Like
yeah.
I saw that and was like, oh, interesting. Fallout remaster. No, not the same year. Not the same year we're seeing Starfield. They like Starfield has been coming for so long. I remember talking to my cousin about that game in 2021, and they're like, "Oh, you people, new Skyrim, but it's in space. What do you know about it?" And I had to say to them, "It's not coming out until November 2022."
That game was announced in 2017.
18, wasn't it? Alongside Fallout 76?
I want to say it was before that. It was the same year they announced Prey. I want to say it was Bethesda World.
No, because Todd came out on stage and was like, look at this. And then there was Starfield, and they were like, look at this. Here's the Elder Scrolls. And then they were like, now look at what's coming this year. It's Fallout 76.
Starfield was announced 2018.
He's good. His brain still works sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, point being, like when it was finally becoming more real, and it was like, and they announced it with the release date of 2022. Like I don't talk to my cousin about games that much. And he was like, oh, what have you heard about this? And I was like, it's not coming for another 16 months. And then it was delayed for another 12. Like, so like, I think they really just want to focus on it. They also have a lot to prove after Fallout 76. It's been 5 years since they came out and was a really bad mark on their legacy. Just a complete black spot.
But I also do wonder, like, is this them trying to... So here's one of the reasons I think Fallout 3 Remastered might actually kick around.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's going to be a thing that I've actually said quite a lot today, more than I realized. There's a TV show coming out.
Oh, fuck. Is there?
Yeah. It's been in production for a while. It's like, the sets look cool. Walton Goggins is in it.
Who?
Walton Goggins. If you Google him, you know who he is. He's been in at least one thing you've seen. He's in everything. He's like
the guy in
bit role.
The guy
in
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, that's right. He's Sonny in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Great. I love Walton Goggins. He's wonderful. I believe he's gonna be a ghoul. I think.
You know what?
He looks it.
That's a good pick.
He looks like a Bethesda creator character. It's awesome.
When you Google Fallout drama series, his face pops up.
Yeah.
Along with many people I don't recognize.
Yeah.
Except Kyle MacLachlan. I know this guy.
Was he in it?
Apparently.
I can imagine him being the dad, you know, type character.
I mean, if they do the series, there's no way they're not doing the Fallout 3 Vault style thing, right? Like, that was such a iconic kind of way to spin the franchise and bring it into that Bethesda.
Yeah. So, like, I can see them doing, like, here's the first look at the show. Here's some Fallout 76 content. And for those of you that are not into that game, we've got a remake of Fallout 3 coming. It'll be around in time for the show. Give it a couple of months. Or maybe, I don't know when that show is coming out. Maybe that show might be a next year thing. So maybe like next year the game comes out at the same time as the show.
There were leaked photos yesterday of
the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's stuff been pouring through for a hot minute now. I'm excited for that show. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it's going to be about, but like I'm excited for the way it feels. So yeah, I can see that happening. And maybe, you know, like fuck around and find out that Skyrim gets a PS5 and Xbox Series X version, right? Like,
oh, save us.
I know, but like they might just flick on ray tracing and be like, hey.
If they do that, it would have to be a part of a bigger collection. It would have to be like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Skyrim fully remastered for the something.
I think the thing is that those games require more work than Skyrim because Skyrim's already a PS4 game. At this point, like
I know
New Vegas and Fallout 3 still crash to this day. Like there's some work that needs to get done.
I mean, you're the one throwing it out there. If it's gonna be there, I think that's the only way that we see Skyrim again.
I could see
they can't mention Skyrim before talking about Starfield when we haven't seen, for what some diehard fans will say, we haven't seen a game as good or even on par with Skyrim since.
My counterpoint is they could just definitely do that.
Not the year that Starfield's coming. I think that's my only caveat. Not the year that Starfield's coming.
Okay. All right.
They could, and that would be hilarious and awful.
Yeah.
But surely not, Jeremy.
I know, but what if they did?
Say it ain't so.
But what if it is? Yeah, that's them, right? Like, and there'll be some other stuff. Like we'll see probably a closer look at the Halo infection mode that's coming out. What I was going to write is like maybe we get the Halo Infinite expansion. We know that that's not coming.
That's been canned. Yeah. Was never in development.
Yeah, whatever they say.
Something.
Yeah, right. Okay. And there'll be some other stuff. Like we'll get some of their smaller games, like maybe like another Ori type thing, or a lot of those other studios have got. Like we'll see State of Decay 3.
And we're like, there's always the chance we see something about Fable or Everwild, but we've only seen them once. It was ages ago. Their track record has not been consistent or stable or stellar. It's really hard to know what to bank on here.
I just had a thought. And it's
good.
I was like, maybe it doesn't belong in Xbox. Maybe it belongs to PlayStation. Dead Rising, the new one.
5.
I think they'll probably just call it Dead Rising.
Yeah, no, they should.
Only because Capcom and PlayStation have been pretty buddies for the past few years now.
They have been, but Dead Rising 4 I don't think did that well.
No, but like that
was an age ago too.
That wasn't, but I think that's maybe it's time to return to Dead Rising.
As of April 2017, so this was like 6 months after it released. Under 1 million copies. Oh wait, no, the game had sold under 1 million copies. Oh yeah, no, that's right. The game had sold under 1 million copies in the first 6 months, short of Capcom's expectation of 2 million.
Yeah. But like maybe it's been long enough.
I guess.
Like if there's one thing we know Capcom was willing to do, it's bring back some older franchises to sort of give them a little bit more relevancy and a little bit more newness, right? Like they will continue to put that guy in the fucking Marvel vs. Capcom games. So like,
Well, Frank West.
Yeah. He's in that. It's really funny.
I hope we don't see it. That series needs to go on ice for a long time. Especially after we just got Dead Island.
Yeah, but I actually reckon if they redid it and sort of went back to some of the roots, did some fun stuff that isn't like stupid Dead Island stuff. Like don't make it hashtag.
That's what Dead Rising is good at though, is going too far and being outlandish.
No, but it wasn't outlandish was the thing. It's hard to explain. Like in universe, it was like sane, and they didn't treat what they were doing as stupid was the thing. Whereas the humor in Dead Island is like, hey, isn't this stupid?
Right.
Like they were one rewrite away from everybody in Dead Island is an influencer.
I mean, one of the characters is.
I know, but like, yeah, but whereas like
one of them in Redfall is too.
Yeah, like I think Dead Island could work.
You mean Dead Rising?
Dead Rising could work.
Let's get out of that name nest.
Ubisoft. Elephant in the room.
What?
Elephant in the room. Skull and
Bones. Do we have a release date, or did they just delay it?
They just delayed it.
They didn't give it another release date.
I don't think they did.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I could be wrong. I've stopped paying attention.
Set to release during the 2023 to 2024 fiscal year. Son of a bitch.
I can't believe
that game had a date.
That game had multiple dates. I can't believe I went to a preview of that game and they gave me a keep cup with the Dead Island logo on it, which I've got, and it's a good keep cup. It's made out of glass. I'm happy about it.
The what logo?
Sorry, the Skull and Bone. Sorry, I'm still trying to get away from those names. They gave me a keep cup with the Skull and Bone logo on it.
Yeah.
And all of us, the other journalists, the other influencers, the PR people, we were having a giggle at at is the game going to be delayed again? As one of the first questions when we got to the Q&A part of that demo. And then like, haha, yeah, very funny. Not going to be delayed again. We're sure it's coming. We've been assured. It's coming.
You've all been had, is what you've been.
Got delayed again.
Jesus.
And yeah, for context, the only reason this game has not been cancelled is because they have a legal requirement from the federal government of Singapore that they need to release this game because of where it is made. Singapore?
They get like a grant or something?
It's being made there.
And?
That was part of it. Maybe it was a grant. I'm not sure. Like, I'm assuming it was something.
Yeah. Oh, what a fucking ball and chain around the ankles of Ubisoft.
Yeah, right.
This game should have been cancelled 8 years ago.
Yeah. Yes. Kotaku reports, and this is from July 2021, that the game has apparently cost Ubisoft upwards of $120 million.
I'm not paying that.
Nobody knew what the fuck they were doing, is a quote from an ex-developer. Far out. I
mean, I ascertained that one.
Yeah.
I figured that out.
Yes.
I sussed that.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's hard. They need
It's gotta be there and it's gotta come out. It needs to set sail and then we need to never see it again.
The fucking pivots that game has taken. Do you remember when it was first announced? Do you remember them talking about esports?
I don't remember them talking about esports, but I remember it was a response to the success of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Yeah, like 4 years later.
Not even. It was like 1 or 2.
It was...
And then it was still there, and then it was still there, and then it went away, and then it was still there.
It was after they had changed what Assassin's Creed meant, and then they announced it, and it was like, hey, all of this stuff, and they were talking about competitive, like one of the biggest and earliest pitches of Skull and Bones for everybody was like competitive, boating, all this stuff, esports, leagues, competitions, tournaments, and everyone's going like, this is not what I want from this boating game.
Oh,
and then,
you're right. It was revealed 2017. 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And then we didn't see it again for a while, and it came back and like, hey, it's like this like RPG-esque experience, blah, 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 blah. Then we didn't see it again, and it's come back into this like, hey, now it's this live service open world game where you'll go back and forth between other boats, and there's now sections where you can walk around as a person off your boat and go meet people, but those sections aren't online instanced, and so it was always kind of, I didn't actually know if you could have a fashion show or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember asking, and I don't remember the answer because it was like, it's getting close to a year ago when I asked these questions. I don't think this was this notepad. No, it wasn't. We don't know. We don't know when that game is going to come out, but it needs to come out soon.
It needs to. I mean, it's not helping Ubisoft, who are struggling.
No.
So revealed and pushed out the door.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I'm sure we'll see Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Yep, get a release date for the end of the year.
Yeah, maybe get a gameplay extended look sort of thing.
Yeah, nice 5-6 minutes.
Yeah,
I am very keen for that game.
Yeah.
Give me that old style. This is probably the last time we'll get this style of Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
I want it so bad.
Another Far Cry yet?
Nah.
No? Is it? Nah. We need another year?
It's been less than 2. Yeah.
Okay.
My question is, will we see Massive's Avatar game or Massive's Star Wars game?
We will see the Avatar game. Yeah, I mean, that's coming first. Like that Star Wars game
that's got like a window on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's got like we've seen it. Like it kind of.
Yeah.
And you know that he's got Avatar movies coming out every year for the next 4 years. So it'll
every year.
I think he's doing yearly releases.
Fuck.
I could be wrong. I don't remember when Avatar 3 is set to come out. Avatar 3 is set to come out 2020. 2024. Yep. 2024 for Avatar 3. So next year. And then.
Oh, that's staggering.
So excited. Look, there's a reason he took 10 years to do all these. So he can fucking release them. 2026 for Avatar 4.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, so it's probably going to be more than 12 months, but not much more.
And Avatar 5, 2028. So 2 years after that.
Ugh.
Yeah. I forgot Way of Water technically was last year. So it's 2 years for every.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes a bit more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we'll see it. I think we'll get a release date for the end of next year. Around the same time as the third one. And I hope it's good.
Me too.
Yeah.
I hope all of these games are good.
Oh, sure. But like, I'm excited for an Avatar game is what I'm like. I like Avatar. I'm a Na'vi head.
Is that only recent or is this an always?
I always liked that movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cool. I didn't know this about you, Jared. I like that movie too.
Yeah, it's good. It's a, like,
yeah.
and like Did
you see it at IMAX when it came out?
I did.
How cool was it?
Wonderful.
It was fucking sick, right?
When I remember, like I rewatched.
When we were buds.
I rewatched it leading up to the new one. Yep. I was like, oh, I'll go back and rewatch it, and I'm sitting going like, this movie is like it's a real movie. This is a movie made by someone who knows how to make movies.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember you saying that.
Jim Cameron is a movie director. He can make a fucking film.
He's a filmmaker.
He's a filmmaker. And he's found his golden goose because he's said publicly.
He created his golden goose.
Well, yeah, but he found it as he found his thing, right? Like,
sure.
He's been like interviewed saying, if I make nothing but Avatar movies the rest of my life, I will be so happy.
Yeah.
And like, that's kind of dope that someone with that level of pedigree and skill and ability has one, created a franchise that will support that. But two, found a thing that he just loves to make these movies.
Yeah.
It's like Scorsese and fucking gangster films.
Yeah.
Cool. I will let you make these for the rest of your life. That's great. even if Scorsese is getting in his very sad old man near death phase, he's
getting there, isn't he?
Well, but he said some stuff recently where he was talking about
what he was in the he had an interview with someone who said that by the time they were old they knew what they wanted to do and it was too late, and now he knows what they mean.
Yeah.
He now knows what he wants to do with his life, but it's too late.
No, it wasn't even that. It was like he now understands the potential of cinema.
That's right.
As an 85-year-old, and like
as one of the most influential film directors and makers of the last 40 or 50 years.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Like I was reading that. I was like, oh man. But. Yeah, like I'm excited for an Avatar game. I'm excited for a big Avatar game that looks really nice with like a.
Yeah, honestly, I want to see a big Ubisoft game. Like, I want to see Ubisoft do something. As disparaging as that sounds, I do really mean it. Like, I want to see them start to fire on some cylinders again. Get some momentum going. You know, Far Cry 6 was decent, but it was just more Far Cry. Valhalla was decent, but it was just more Odyssey. But even then, like, different in a weird way that I didn't enjoy it as much. Like,
yeah.
Like they're so lost right now.
Yeah.
And I just want to see them succeed a bit more. Like, it really wasn't that long where we would look forward. Or I could look at a Ubisoft game and think, you know what, that could be decent because it's from Ubisoft. Even if it's a bit tried and true in terms of their open world design. That got me through a lot of summers when I was younger, and I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I really enjoyed the Division games. I think they're really fun to play. The story and all of that around it is like horse shit, as nearly all of the Tom Clancy's are, if not all of them. But
but it serves the gameplay.
Yeah, and like I thought the gameplay was fun, and I enjoyed taking outposts. I often think about like if I had nothing but free time and I had no desire to really bother making stuff on it, like that would be a game that I would really love to just fall into and just
the Division.
Yeah, like I would love to 100% the Division.
Yeah,
if I like that would be a great like I'm just
go in there, get the loot, do the classes, do all the strongholds, try the raid.
Yeah. That is enjoyable to me.
Like I'm sitting here thinking like they're doing so much interesting stuff, like maybe a new Mario and Rabbids game. Oh wait, they did that. How did it perform? According to them, badly, apparently, which is really sad. Like what? Like I don't understand. Like
it was great.
It was
really
trying
great.
to bank on these successes, like Mario and Rabbids doing another one. Cool. They shook it up. It's a bit different, and it went nowhere. Well, comparatively for what they needed. Like, they're so lost.
Do we see the Prince of Persia game?
I hope so.
Remember that?
Jeremy, I took pre-orders for that game back when I worked at a game store.
Yeah.
I haven't worked at a game store in 2 years. That game was meant to come out while I was working at a game store.
Yeah.
And then they moved the release date like 3 weeks before it was meant to come out. And it's been dead quiet since. The development pseudo restarted at some point. Didn't we hear some like
something like that
official critique of the management of the development of the game at some point?
Yeah, that rings of some bells.
I hope we see it. Like it. That's just because I really want that game. That game's sick. Did you ever play Sense of Time?
No.
Did you play Warrior Within or
never
Two
played
Kings?
Prince of Persia.
Whoa.
They just sort of missed me.
Yeah, I mean, they probably got a bit mature for you. They probably became too mature, like just ahead of like your age.
Kinda,
when Sands of Time, when Prince of Persia 2 came out and it was then MA, like I was borderline too young to play that. You were 3 years younger than me.
I don't think it was even that. I think it was just like when I was looking towards those games, there were others that were interesting me more. I was like, like the beginning of like Uncharted. Or no, it would have been
those
like,
games were not contemporaneous.
No, sorry, I'm like I think like God of War was one that I was like, if I'm gonna pick between these two, I would probably go towards God of War.
Yeah. That first game though had a really striking design and story.
I remember. Like I remember seeing that's the thing. Like that's cool, but I think I was like, that's cool from a distance, and I've got it.
Yeah. I really want to go back to that, and just that one, no more. Not Nolan's one, not 2 and 3, just that one.
Do we get a Rayman?
We're not getting. Oh, Rayman! Fuck, that'd be cool. I'd be down for that.
Like a Rayman game.
Yeah, like a 3D platformer. Give us Rayman.
Give me Rayman
Hell
4.
Yeah.
There was some leaked stuff recently about the cancelled Rayman 4 from yonks ago got released about like 6 to 8 months ago. And I was like, oh, that would have been really cool. Because that was going to be the game that introduced the Rabbids.
Oh, did the Rabbids just appear?
Yeah, they appeared in a party game because it was meant to follow Rayman 4, but then Rayman 4 got canned.
Right, but then Rabbids just happened to do super well as a Wii party game.
Yeah, and then they made they made a show.
Funny.
They made that animated show.
That's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. They minions themselves without actually doing Despicable Me.
Yeah, they did before Minions. I always think of Rabbids and Minions in hand.
Yeah. And I guess the final one, which like
No, we don't see it.
I think we might.
We don't see Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I think we do.
That game's director left.
Yes, but I think we see that game be pushed out in whatever state it's going to come out in.
Oh God, no way.
Like when was the last time we heard about Beyond Good and Evil 2?
When the developer left amid like hearing about some allegations that he skirted by just fucking up the wilderness.
just by leaving. Yeah.
He like got out like a week before that shit happened.
They did confirm as of April 2023 that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is
like last month.
is still in development.
Nah.
They are currently hiring for it still.
Nah.
Although they are hiring for concept artist. That doesn't mean anything, but also, ooh. Yeah. We don't know.
Who hires for concept art 6 years into development?
Ubisoft Barcelona.
Oh, Ubisoft. Our final little question here was, do we see Nintendo in this next couple of months? And when we were talking about this before the show, you were saying how the big players have sort of been like, will they, won't they, sort of vague, sort of like not knowing. And I was like, yeah, but then Nintendo did like a mic drop and said, why don't we just let the best game you've played since Breath of the Wild do the talking for us for the next 6 weeks straight?
Yeah.
Which is definitely what's going to happen.
I still think we see them in July.
I reckon we could see them in July. I mean, they've been doing that in the last couple of years. They've had a later American summer trailer drop.
Yeah.
And that would do well. I think they want something. They want to remind people that, hey, you can play something else now aside from Tears of the Kingdom. Here's Pikmin. Yeah. Here's a couple of things to be excited about. Maybe Metroid Prime 2 remaster at that point. Maybe not. That's a bit soon. But like something along those lines, maybe, you know, Super Mario Galaxy 2. Fuck it. I don't know. Something. Not much new, not much exciting. Not Odyssey 2. Not Luigi's Mansion 4. Not a brand new something. Mario Kart Wave 5 is out now. Like stuff like that.
Yeah. Like I can see that. Like, but I do wonder. They do need to start looking ahead at the end of the year.
Well, not just the end of the year, but the end of the Switch.
Yeah, but they had an earnings call or an investment meeting somewhat recently.
Oh, and they said it's not happening for the next 12 months or something.
Oh, they said that I think don't expect any hardware announcements this year, I think is what they said.
This fiscal year or something.
Yeah. Which to them is calendar at the same time, I think.
So what you're actually saying is, what's the Pokemon game we're going to get this year?
Fuck.
How depressing was that?
Yeah, well, I mean, like we won't because we'll get the DLC because that's been announced.
That's true.
But yeah, like part of it was like, "Fuck, are we?" But like,
no. So you make a good point though. Like they probably will want to have something for end of year. Maybe a Warriors game, Mario Warriors game.
No, but it's Warriors.
Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors.
Mario versus Warriors.
Oh, that's good. Hey, Nintendo, you can have that one.
Free.
Okay, but Kerry.
Yeah.
Is it time for a new Mario game?
Well past time.
But is it time for a new Mario game now post Bowser's Fury? Was that the extension they need to release a Mario game in, let's say, December 2023?
I don't think they really do that. Big releases in December. They like doing like November.
November 2023.
We're just so close to something new coming.
I know.
Like we can all feel it.
I know.
And we're in prime. Let's hold it so we can launch it on both systems territory.
But if the hardware is not going to hit by the end of their financial year, you know what would really give them a big punch? And I know the Mario movie just made $1 billion, so they're not strapped for cash. But
yeah, but they can't have a Zelda to release. They won't have a Zelda to they Tears of the Kingdom isn't going to be this for the Switch as it was for whatever comes next because it just came out. That's done. That shot has been fired. There aren't many other things they can release that can really sell consoles at the start. Like, what other launch games can you expect from them that are ready to go soon?
Metroid Prime 4.
I don't think that'll sell units. That it sold units on a system that has already done very well. That already has sold more than 100 million. It's done very well, but I don't think it'll sell consoles on its own. Not as the first thing off the bat.
Do mainline Mario?
Maybe it's Metroid Prime 4 first.
But do mainline Marios sell consoles?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of their best systems.
I know, but do they go out and buy the console for the Mario, or do they go out and buy Mario on the console? Like,
yeah, parents for a family will just buy the console,
I suppose,
and they'll buy the thing that's good for their family, which is Mario, right? So we know that just happens.
Yeah, it's yeah.
And then there's us,
which are buying it for
and
Mario.
the 30 years of people like us,
yeah, I suppose,
who will get it because it's a new Mario.
Look,
which isn't a massive fraction, but it is a fraction.
There is a game that will sell. That they don't have ready to sell consoles, but like if they were to do it's, I guess what they could do is they could sell Mario Kart 8 Ultimate Edition, and it's just
Ultimate Deluxe.
Yeah, and it's got the whole shebang as a part of it, but it's got like,
that's what it was. That's what Deluxe is. It is the whole shebang.
Yeah, I know, but it's like it's like
Gold Deluxe.
Yeah, and it's got a player split screen or something like at 10 FPS.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I know. Well, but like it's got something like that, right? Like okay, like a fucking sports game, like a Wii Sports 2, Nintendo Sports. Like, I think they've got stuff that they could pull easily.
3-4 Switch.
But what if it's like, okay, but like, and like, I know that this is a ridiculous thing to consider, but like, the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake, like, something like that. Like, they could have that ready.
Yes. That would work for me. That would work for a number of people.
Did you just wee a little bit when I said that?
A little bit. It's all right. I won't tell anyone. But
Ocarina.
Just thinking about the Switch's first year, right?
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
A month later, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
Before the end of the year, we got Mario Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those 3 games, not only are they some of the best-selling games on the system, they're also some of the best games on the system.
They are, I would say, the best games on the system.
Yeah. The next year we got and Splatoon 2 was in the middle of that year as well. The next year we got Smash Ultimate.
Yep.
Like,
and we're not getting another one of those soon.
No, we're not. I don't think they have enough in the tank yet to
sell a system.
Yeah, in a way that means that they can just throw whatever they've got ready for the Switch.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless that just means we get a delay on the console, and it's more like November next year. Give their teams a bit more time to make something, release something at November this year, like Mario.
I mean, maybe,
for example,
maybe
or
that
Metroid Prime 4.
Well, I was going to say maybe that's enough time for them to release the other 2 Metroid Primes and then release 4 as a dual, a dual release across Switch and the new Switch.
Yeah, it's a puzzle.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, it's weird because like my brain has this weird attachment to the hardware for the new Nintendo is going to arrive early in the year just because that's what happened last time, but it's not. Like, because we know it's not going to happen early next year because we would start to hear about it in a bigger way than what we currently are right now. Like,
yeah, I mean, they announced the Switch. Oh, the NX rumors were rampant.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like we were hearing it. Like we were hearing it enough that they confirmed it.
Yeah,
whereas
that's right.
like
yeah.
we will like that is a Christmas console next year.
Yeah, it probably is, isn't it? Or like September. Let the diehards get into it, and then you can maybe get a game bundle on in that November, the Black Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny.
So yeah, who knows what the fuck we get in a month from Nintendo? Like it'll be weird. Like I reckon it's Metroid Prime 2.
Even then, like that first game was like 3 months ago. Like I don't know if they've got 2 ready, or if they want to burn it that quickly. Like they still might want to stretch it a bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think we get we'll get some other little surprises from them, no doubt. And then
3 games from Square Enix.
Yeah, and like, but we're not even gonna get like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, when are we gonna get the fucking the Zelda 3D remake? And like, we're not gonna get them soon because we just got Tears of the Kingdom. That has pushed Zelda out for another 6 to 8 months at least.
Yep.
We probably won't see those until after the fucking Tears of the Kingdom DLC that comes out in a year.
I mean, maybe that is the November release this year. Maybe it's finally the HD remaster collection
of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They wouldn't release it as a collection. The cowards.
Hey.
They wouldn't release it as a collection. They release it as 2 full price games at once.
It depends on how much work they do to it.
Those games are big though. They can justify it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Even 60, like they did for Metroid Prime.
Nah, but Zelda's hot this year. They can charge the full price.
I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the end of the predictions. We've completely gone through our time estimate because of fucking course we have. We always do. Yeah. Jeremy, do we have it in us to talk at all about Tears of the Kingdom?
Nah, let's just save it.
All right. Well, everyone, we're going to bottle up our Tears of the Kingdom impressions for week 2. Stuff them in a sack and bring them next week to show and tell. And then next week we'll be talking about the results of the PlayStation conference that happens in, what did I say, 48 hours almost.
Something like that, yeah.
No, like 50 something. In a couple of days. Thursday morning for us in Australia, Wednesday afternoon in the US. Very excited to see what comes out. We're hitting the middle of the year. It's going to be very cool. It's going to be very fun. Next week, when you come and watch the show with us and we break that down, we are going to be joined by a guest, if all goes according to plan. Paul James from Player 2 is joining us to talk about the PlayStation Showcase. And if time allows, the rest of the show as well. We can hear about what he's been playing and he can talk to us about what we've been playing. So look forward to that. That's the first time we've had a guest on this show?
On this show, yeah. I pitched it to him by saying, you are the most PlayStation person I know, so we would love to have your thoughts and opinions on the show.
Yes. And if it goes very well, then maybe he can join us back for our subscription service SmackDown sequel happening in a month or 2 when we revisit the subscription services. But yeah, that's going to do it for us for this week. Let me just find my outro here. If you want to make sure you catch next week's episode, the best place to find that is on our socials at MiniMapAU. You could follow us individually as well. Jeremy, where can they follow you on Twitter?
At Obi1Jez.
You could follow me on Twitter at KJPalmer_24. You can also head to minimap.com.au for absolutely everything else Minimap related, including the Minidisc podcast, our latest article. The only thing you won't be able to find there are the Patreon exclusive shows like the one we just released today, which is our Remember E3 2009 Sony press conference watch along that we did, which is a good one you can find on Patreon.
Should rewrite this little script. I just realized.
Yeah, maybe do a little refresh, but that's all right.
Yeah.
The other thing is we've got speaking of mini disc, we spoke a lot about Wolfenstein 2 this episode. Hey, we did a game club about that entire game where we talk about all of it. So if you want to revisit what we think or just the game itself, that's a good way to sort of recap the story, some fun moments, what we thought about it. I didn't like it that much, but Jeremy and June loved it. So you can check that whole thing out there. For those of you live with us on Twitch, stick around. We're about to start the post show. I'm definitely going to eat a cookie during the post show. For those of you listening later, make sure to give us those oh so tasty 5-star ratings. It helps out a lot, and consider joining us next week if you can. Lastly, like I just mentioned, on Patreon, we are giving you exclusive content over there, starting to roll that out. You can support us by going there. Getting that exclusive content helps us out a lot. Helps us keep the lights and mics on. That's over on patreon.com/minimapau for $5 Australian, and you get all the benefits there, including early access to the full release of the MiniMapCast episodes as well. Hey, thank you so much, everyone, for listening, for making it all the way through. So excited to hit the middle of the year. We'll be back next week with PlayStation's results. And until then, have a good week.